I am making a San Francisco-inspired chowder, and then, of course, we're gonna serve it with bread, because if you have all of this broth, you need some sopping stuff.
Sop it up.
Sop it up. All right, so what I'm gonna do is start cutting up my bacon. I'm gonna stack it, and I'm gonna just cut it really thinly. And when you're cutting bacon, you need to make sure that it is cold. If it is soft, you can't cut it. So here we have just these beautiful lardons. I'm turning my pan on. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil, I have olive oil, in my pan just to get the bacon going. All right, so that's gonna do what it's gonna do.
All right, so when we look at the mussels, you wanna go through all of your mussels. Occasionally, you will find these little hairy things. This is called the beard. You just wiggle it off back and forth. If any of the shells are cracked or broken, throw them out. You have to think about this also. The shell is their house. And sometimes they get a little bit curious about what's going on in the world. And so they open up to kind of peek out a little bit. You can just give them a squeeze shut, and if they clam up, they're great. If they don't, if they stay open, they're dead. Throw them out.
Dead. All right, this is fast work. Once you start it and you get into it, it's really fast work.
Oh.
Okay, I'm the boss of you. I'm getting my bacon really crisp because the bacon is gonna be the garnish. And as I'm cooking it and I'm letting that fat render, I'm using that fat to cook my onions in. So that is also another layer of flavor. And I'm gonna take the bacon out and I'm gonna put it on a sheet pan. I am starting with my onions. I'm starting with the whites. What do you have in chowder? Potatoes. So I have a Yukon Gold potato. I'm just gonna peel these. So I'm always going to make my food flat and safe. And then I'm going to cut planks, sticks. This is also called a bâton in French when you're...
Really?
Bâton, see? And get them diced up. The smaller your cuts are, the quicker they're going to cook. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the leaves off the thyme. How we make our broths flavorful. It's called aromatics. So all of these other herbs, those are the aromatics that are gonna give you that bouquet, like, So one easy aromatic that I'm using, lemon peel. Seafood loves lemon. I'm also going to have some garlic in there. And for my bread, I'm also going to use garlic. So I'm gonna have like 4 cloves of garlic. The other thing that I wanna say is if you think and you're not sure if something needs salt, what I want you all to do is challenge yourself to keep seasoning it and see how much salt you can put in it before it gets salty.
Right, and feel those gradations of flavor and what salt does. It doesn't bring in any other flavors. It makes everyone's voices heard. It turns the volume up on the flavors.
It's a megaphone.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Bread, you need some sopping stuff. All right, so in here, I have the whites of my onions. I'm going to add that garlic. I have the thyme, and then I have my zest. I'm using 2 cups of fish stock, my diced potatoes in the stock, so they're gonna cook in all of these flavors. Bring it up to a boil. When you add your salt, as you're cooking, the salt goes into the fiber of the meat or whatever you are cooking. When you wait to the end, it sits on top. And this is why people oversalt at a table, because they put the salt on. It's like make iced tea when you put that, when they don't have the simple syrup, and then they give you the sugar, and you're like, oh my God, it's great. And the waiter comes and takes that glass after you had it all like perfect and it was dissolved. So this is why you put salt in the food.
Goddamn waiter.
I know, right? This is why you put the salt in the food as you're making it. I put my mussels in. A couple minutes. We're gonna steam them, and they're all opening. It does not take long. I put olive oil on the bread. I'm gonna take my mussels out, but what I'm looking for, any that did not open, because you don't want those, so you're gonna pick those out. Now I reduce our stock, finish cooking everything, and then I continue on. One of the things that I love as I'm eating mussels, I love just stacking them because I usually use them as pinchers, and I go in and eat it like a little fork.
Isn't that cuties?
Yeah, it's so good. And then I just stack them all like this.
Wow.
I could have waited for that part, but I was kind of excited
Well,
about it.
because you got very excited about it.
Cream. I had my cream when my potatoes were done. So you have all of that citrus, you have the thyme, you have the garlic, you have the onions, and you have the bacon. There's nothing bad about this. Okay, should be really, really tasty.